I'd like to start my talk with a little bit of a demonstration, if you don't mind, but I'm going to need your help, okay? Okay? Okay. Okay, so nothing complicated, I promise. Think of it as an object lesson that has 3 parts. Okay, you ready? All right. First things first, step 1. I need you to sit up and scratch your nose. Awesome, good job. Step 2, without using your hands or your fingers, scratch your nose again. Awesome, good job. Last step, I need you to take your hands and slide them underneath your thighs. Now close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that a little green caterpillar is crawling up the bridge of your nose, making it itch. Without removing your hands from underneath your thighs, scratch your nose. Good job. Round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Okay, now let's have a quick moment of reflection. When I asked you to scratch your nose without using your hands or your fingers, what ideas did you come up with? What strategies did you develop? Now, when I asked you to scratch your nose again without you removing your hands from underneath your thighs, did you come up with any new ideas? Any new strategies? Because if you did, congratulations. You are using a skill called cognitive flexibility. Cognitive meaning pertaining to your mind, and flexibility meaning the ability to be modified. Now, I do not want you to freak out by the term cognitive flexibility, because I promise you, you have seen this in action before today. In the world of education where I spend most of my time, cognitive flexibility is defined as your ability to adjust your thinking when presented with variables that are unexpected. So, for example, the robotics team is at a competition and their robot just stops working. Suddenly they have to come together and develop some new calculations, some new ideas to help get their robot back into the game. In the game of football, which is my favorite sport to watch, you see cognitive flexibility when the quarterback goes to throw to his receiver, but then ends up scrambling for yards because he realizes that his receiver is no longer open. And if you are a parent, your children use cognitive flexibility on you all the time. Like when you tell them for the 27th time why they cannot have ice cream for breakfast, and they immediately come up with reason number 28 as to why they should be able to have ice cream for breakfast. So, in short, cognitive flexibility is just our ability to think on our feet. And yet, when we don't utilize cognitive flexibility, it can have some really serious, real-life complications. See, without it, we can become stagnant, despondent, disillusioned, discouraged, or depressed. See, without cognitive flexibility, we run the risk of sacrificing all of our hopes and our aspirations, and we can find ourselves sinking into a perpetual state of purposelessness. Folks, cognitive flexibility is important, but even more important, it can be the difference between us living our best lives or not living at all. On March 23rd, 2018, I had what is referred to as a widowmaker heart attack. It is a heart attack so severe that after I coded 9 times and didn't die, the doctors and the nurses took to calling me a walking miracle. That sounds really good, right? Walking miracle? It's just one problem. A couple of days later, when I regained consciousness, the very first thing that I realized was that my legs no longer worked. And not only did my legs no longer work, nobody could explain to me why. And as if life wasn't already interesting enough, in the first month of my recovery, I developed an infection in my right leg and in my left foot, both of which subsequently, ultimately, resulted in me having my right leg amputated above the knee and my left leg amputated below it. Suddenly, a woman who got up at 5 o'clock every morning to run 5 miles in preparation for the Peachtree Road Race found herself a bilateral lower limb amputee who was also a partial paraplegic. We know the phrase, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? Well, what happens when life isn't giving you lemons, but she's throwing them at your head instead? In the subsequent days and months and weeks, I had a decision I had to make. I could either quit, or I could flex my cognition and get back to the business of living. Well, quitting isn't in my nature, so I chose the latter. Now, I realize that my life journey isn't the same as your life journey, but I'm willing to bet that at some point in your life, you have encountered circumstances that you were not prepared for. And if you haven't, well, in the words of my father, keep on living, because I promise you, someday you will. Over the past year and a half, I have had to completely re-envision my entire life to include my new normal. And I promise you, it is the hardest thing I have ever had to do. But I am thankful that I did, because had I not, I assure you, I would not be sitting here before you today. Because see, what I really wanted, was for somebody, anybody, to come and fix all of this. I was looking for a superhero to come and save me. But I realized fairly quickly that if I needed saving, the only person who had the power to save me was me. And I submit to you that when life starts coming at you fast, as I promise you it will at some point, and you're looking for a superhero or for someone to save you, the only person who has the power to save you is you. Life's trials don't come along just so that we can give up and quit. Quite the contrary. Cognitive flexibility was built for those moments. See, because what it does is it affords us the opportunity to take life's lemons and make one hell of a good lemon drop martini. See, the truth of the matter is that we are all here for a purpose, and we all have a destiny to fulfill. Our job is to figure out what that destiny is and make it happen. Because after all, our job in the end is to walk in our purpose, whether we have legs or not. Thank you.